Thursday, and then she's probably
Right.
slammed.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So I just,
We're hiring like crazy right now.
What the hell is that?
Business is spiking.
What's that?
Heavy equipment
We're busy.
radio?
They did it last year, where they close up on Saturday and Sunday.
That's hot.
Well, we're moving stuff out of Mexico, coming back
oh,
here.
come on.
Oh, it's already come back. We hired 30 something from my area, just in the past. I think it officially got, we've been working on it for months, but finally officially hit about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
That is awesome.
Hired a lot of people just for that.
This one is- It is.
So Lonnie, for these minutes, to understand correctly, you've had Claude recording and approved.
You know,
Did you see
YouTube,
that sign?
when you scroll down, it
Here.
says more,
See the
and you
year?
click on that and you ask for a transcript
It's by the door.
of the recording. And so I just cut and pasted that
If
into
you
Claude.
can't hear,
And make it,
Huh?
and pull out
if you
action
can't
items.
hear,
And it did, I have to, you know,
You're supposed to do something.
Here, right.
how about turning on the microphone?
It calls Ms. Miss.
They're
Mr.
on if they
Ross
wanna use them, they're on.
And Chairman Ross is to Chairman Waller.
Hey, if you wanna use your microphones, use your microphones.
Mine's dead.
I don't think you have a choice, you have to be ADA compliant.
Okay, so since Gary Bush has resigned, we're going to, Ms. Ross has agreed to be in charge of minutes, so I'll let Ms. Ross call roll.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, let me, let's see, okay, let me borrow.
we're all here for the record, but
Yeah,
yes.
I know, but let me just borrow that. Okay,
We're
so,
trying to find
Mr.
somebody.
Waller,
Ma'am, yes.
Mr. Lowe, is it Lowe?
Lost.
Lawson, I thought that was,
Did I put the wrong thing on there? Whoops. Fix it for next month.
okay.
I knew it was lost.
Mr. Lawson. Since Mr. Lowe isn't here. Mr. or Dr. Bartel?
Steve,
Steve, okay. Steve, here. Mr. Hendricks,
Yes, here.
and I'm here, and that's it, we're all here, okay.
Would anybody from the public like to speak?
I'm just here for the update for the highway and to see if I can, what's going on with attorneys that we were supposed to get an update on.
I got you an update.
And, as far as the mud on the road, it's still a problem. There are days that it's better when we don't have rain for longer periods of time, but as soon as we have a little bit of rain, it's bad. I've got pictures.
I was out there the 15th of August when it was raining, it was fine. But I was just drove by there for 2 minutes, so anyways, but yes, sorry, go ahead.
But I do got pictures with time, date stamp on that. If you need me to send them, I can. I've sent them already, but like I say, I'm ready for the solution and quit going, I feel like we're just beating a dead horse. I just like to see, answers, start coming available.
You and me both.
Do you want to mention what? Material driveway is main design.
You're welcome to, please.
Okay, TDEC looked at that black area, by the end of the driveway,
Yes.
and they said it's from a natural spring and it's manganese and iron, but it's not from the waste.
Okay.
So, just to, and that was in the report.
I think that's in the packet.
Yes.
They tested it and it didn't come from any, that was my concern too, because I'd seen
Is
it
that-
too.
Yeah.
I was concerned about leaching or something like that coming through. They said no.
Ms. Hunter, Ms. Franklin? Comments?
I'll let you go first.
Yeah. I asked the last time I was here, where's the bond?
TDEC has it.
Who?
TDEC has the bond.
Aaron?
No, Aaron doesn't have it now. TDEC has requested to keep this one for some reason. You want to speak to that a little bit?
So the TDEC administrator, per the permit, is required to hold the bond annually, and so they just keep the hard copy, and so all we get is.
I'm not asking for the hard copy, I'm asking for a copy of the amount of money?
was $25 million.
It's up that high now?
Yeah.
Okay. The second, item was, there's no meeting minutes on the posting on the website.
I got them this morning.
Yes.
So
Sorry,
if you'd
my
like,
bad.
if
That-
you'd like something to read tonight by the fire, I got copies.
All right, and then, Gary was resigned.
Yes.
Who did you elect to be the secretary? You have to do that.
Well, temporarily, we haven't elected anybody yet, but she's taking minutes right now,
Yeah.
so.
Well.
You sure about it?
should I-
Are you through?
And you're gonna provide a summary of what you talked about with the lawyers?
Here in a second, yes. Yes.
Okay. That's what I had.
I guess I'm last.
But not least,
So you are going to give an update on the vultures.
Correct.
Ms. Coffey couldn't come today, but she's interested. She'll be watching.
perfect.
The in lieu of performance bond, I know that it goes to TDEC, but the county always gets a copy. So there should be a copy at the county office building of whatever you sent to TDEC. So how do we get that to the county office so we have a copy for the public?
I'll make sure Aaron has it.
Okay. The other thing, you are gonna give the summary, of the meeting between the lawyers and the parties. And I wanna check back on the status of the audit. Did you finish?
The 2024 audit?
The one for this past year, which would have been,
2024.
the one you were working on.
2024 is not done yet, no. Huh?
Okay. And, you said that you received the minutes, are they for May, June, and July?
These are for June and July. May's we don't have wrapped up yet.
Oh,
We haven't voted on them yet.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
We'll deal with that next month.
Okay, so you have June and July, but you don't have May yet.
Correct.
Sorry.
I'm not losing sleep over, I assure you.
Do we have, that we should have something from Gary, right?
Yeah, but there's some things,
Oh,
we'll deal with May minutes in September.
And I know that it doesn't have anything to do with, well, indirectly, it has to do with the Solid Waste Commission. And I think you received a, email from Ms. Coffey, and, I went to the convenience center on Saturday. And, I'll have to tell Buddy again that the hydraulic fluid is leaking from the compactor. It's been doing this for months, on and off and on and off. I think it's a maintenance issue and it needs to be addressed. But I went to the Loudon one, and they were burning at the edge of the convenience center.
The convenience center was not burning.
Who was burning that?
The highway department was burning inside the city of Loudon.
The stuff they got from the other convenience center?
Storm debris is what they burn in the quarry, supposedly.
Or
I've
did
never
they
seen
bring
it.
it to the landfill?
Because they have a permit from TDEC to burn storm debris. That's my understanding. Again, this is not our deal. If you need to talk to Billy Joe Pickle or Mayor
Well,
Harris,
It circles back to, Republic doesn't have a cell for yard waste, which is a lot better place to put it than in the expensive line cells. And we've been asking for that for 2 or 3 years. It may be a surprise to you all, but
no.
there should be one cell for nothing but yard waste, trees and limbs. That isn't in the main portion of the landfill. That's expensive to build and maintain.
but again, this is a city of Loudon issue and a highway department issue at this point, so.
Well, actually, it's not, because it's located on the 7 acres that is the convenience center. I had a long discussion with TDEC, and they're gonna be out looking
Then talk
at
to the
it.
mayor about it, that's under his
Well,
purview.
but it goes back to what Mr. Ankrum was saying about yard waste. Does the yard waste go into the lined section of the landfill if somebody takes yard waste? Or does it go into an unlined, a area that they use?
Well, I know we have a place where brush and debris's been dumped before, cause it's been struck by lightning and caught on
Caught
fire. So I don't believe that's in a lined area.
No.
But if somebody, like Brian, he has a tree company, if he brings limbs and debris, where does it go in the landfill?
Do I have the floor? No.
Please, please, please.
So the idea was it'd be staged for use, and what we would do is grind it occasionally. And the idea is that it actually will help extend our soil life, so we have additional soils. You can mix it with soils used for cover,
Use it
use
for
it for roads.
Okay, so, but you, it's the same tipping fee for wood debris as it would be any other garbage?
I cannot speak to the fees.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the tipping.
But from my understanding, it would be under the same kind of Loudon resident type pricing that would be required at the landfill.
So it would be
Well,
45 or
it's
whatever.
the 3 cities and the county.
No, not for him, it's not extended to an individual party, it's just to the cities and county.
Anything else, Ms. Hunter?
That's what he said.
No, I think that's it. Oh, I do have a question
Too
about
late.
the financial.
Too late?
No, I have a question about the financial. I didn't see an invoice for the legal. Do you have one?
We're not voting on anything legal tonight.
Is there not a financial that you're gonna be approving?
On the last page,
I know it's on the last page. Are you approving the $18,850, the expenditures for July, or is this for last?
We approved that at the last meeting.
You did this for the last meeting?
This is just our monthly financials. We approved Elizabeth's bill at the last meeting.
Okay, so it was for $18,850?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to add just one more comment.
Yes, sir.
Coming back to the buzzers and the big birds and all that. I talked to Justin, Justin was the manager there for quite so many years. He informed me that the landfill has a permit, or had it when he worked there, to kill from whoever it is, to kill so many birds a year, so many of them birds a month or a year. And so if they, and he told me they killed them frequently. And that's why they hadn't really been a problem then, and we're just now kinda hearing about it the last, 7, 8 months, or however long it's been, because they used to take care of them when Justin worked there. And, cause I asked him about it, and he said they had a permit to take those birds down.
So who had the permit? Republic? Santec?
Yes, the landfill had to have the permit to do that. So if that's the case, then I don't think the solid waste board should have to pay $25,000, or I think it was 25,000, was that what it was?
Correct.
To hire somebody to come in there and kill them things for 3 weeks.
Well, so
Let us
6
verify, but
Yeah, verify that, because
I think we check and see with Jeff, but
the city of Loudon has a permit.
that's who had the
The
permit.
city of Loudon has a
Sure.
permit because they take care of them down here on the river,
Yes,
Okay.
but it's for such a minimal number, it wouldn't do a drop in the bucket
yeah.
for what's in the landfill.
And
So,
I
it's
just know-
old,
I
it's
just knew that
expired.
he said
Yeah.
that they had that permit there at the landfill.
well, and Jeff told me the other day that theirs is probably expiring, the manager.
Yeah,
would have, but
it's, I knew it expired, I talked to him.
USDA
We
has
first brought
just
this up.
an unlimited number that they can,
Well, I just
remove.
didn't know if it was something to investigate on y'all's end to see if it saved y'all some money.
I'll ask if,
Maybe they can
Santec had it,
modify that for you.
but the numbers that they grant to organizations like Santec or even us, it's like 30 a year, which would
Yeah,
be,
that ain't gonna do nothing.
no, so, anything else? Speaking of vultures, I talked to Justin Handy today, and he's spent the past week at the landfill. Vultures, because of all the activity with the construction and the trucks, they're flying a lot, which they're impossible to hit when they're flying. So his approach is gonna be to set up a trap, and he's gonna get with Teresa and try to find a spot to put the trap. But he wants to bait them for a little bit before the trap actually becomes active. So, he's gonna get with Teresa and find a spot for that, and whether they use roadkill or cattle carcasses that come in, which I told him to check with Teresa on that one. And then set the trap, and I think they'll be able to capture large numbers at one time with that trap. So he'll be with Teresa, tomorrow, later, or early next week to find a usable spot at the landfill for that. So that's the approach. We're gonna capture them and then euthanize them, so.
Well, I think too, another thing that they can do that we wouldn't be able to is they're gonna be working with the people in, Tennessee National.
Well, no, Matlock Bend, they're
Yeah,
gonna be going to houses on Matlock
Right.
Bend, getting releases to shoot from their property.
right, so it kind of is more expansive and is more helpful, I think, to the surrounding homeowners.
Absolutely.
Did you get, Elizabeth read the,
Yes, I mean, that's signed, checks are being cut, invoiced,
Okay.
yeah, so we're 100% in go mode with that, so. Leachate disconnect update with the slip lining and stuff.
Materials that started getting shipped to the site, we have a lead time, we're still waiting for that plug that they're going to put in on the base of module A. I've only seen a thank you in some of the materials that have arrived this week on site, so I mean, we're getting close. I plan on notifying Lou and everybody once we have a hard date.
Okay, and do you think that's gonna be 2 weeks out, 2 months out, 2 days out? What are we, just ballpark, I know it's,
First half of September.
okay. We'd like Chris Klein to be there for that too.
Yeah.
Will there be a post scope of that?
I believe I sent you some plans with the slip line, kind of like the final, or at least I sent them to Lou. I think I copied you on that, and I may have even included Chris.
Okay, thank you. Leachate store tank still good? Everything fine there?
No issues, we're expecting the tank to be, brought back into compliance, by September 15th is what I was told by the tank manufacturer.
Be an active first half of September. Borrow pit, let's discuss a little bit of that later. I do want to get a land disturbance permit just so the planning office knows what's going on, because there could be runoff and stuff, so just a permit, I just want to make sure we get one. Stormwater pond updates, I know I've seen some emails back and forth about those, so what are we with our 3 different stormwater ponds?
So we'll start from the backside first. Pond 3 by the said basin near cell construction. That was completely dewatered. It was dredged of all potentially impacted soils. We collected confirmatory samples, submitted that off. We got approval to allow the pond to go back into operation, so they'll properly construct the outfall that will flow from that pond. Pond 2, we've been kind of aerating and going back and forth with concentrations there. So last month, the issue was ammonia. Ammonia's been brought back into compliance, but COD was just slightly over our compliance level. So we're gonna continue aerating. We're actually gonna bring out a new pump this month to try to expedite that process. Rain for Rent's gonna be bringing one, I think Monday. So you might see some, a little bit more vertical misting effect going on over there.
Okay. We just give us a brief update on the partial closure and passive gas plan, just so everybody hears it from an engineer's mouth.
So yeah, partial closure, obviously I've told you we've gone from 13 to 10.2. The idea is to maintain access on the top deck. I provided earlier this week with final plans as far as what we're gonna do from an intermediate depth capture. And so the whole idea, the purpose of this when I saw it was prevent any sort of ballooning. Let's make sure that the infrastructure stays intact for the life of the landfill beyond closure. And so one of my concerns when I first saw it was potential gas migration through the waste column, the intermediate cover, and into that final, but obviously not being able to penetrate through the cap. So we want to allow for some sort of way for transfer from underneath the cap. We are not planning on vacuum or any sort of gas capture. If odors do become an issue, we do have accessibility to what we call passive solar flares or tiki torches, essentially a little sparking mechanism that just will ignite any sort of methane or combustible gas that comes through to combust it. But yeah, so that's.
And I sent you an email, so reply to the email, I'll ask you as well. So are cells C and D at full capacity, full airspace?
So we have lots of pockets of airspace throughout the landfill right now that we're really trying to pick to get to final grade on, you'll see, I believe it's in this packet too, is there's kind of a figure that shows available airspace that's not included on that interior slope where we're building the cells. And so you'll see on the north slope, there's 15 feet, you'll see various pockets all over the place of 5 to 10 feet. So that's really what we're going after right now, is just trying to find these small lifts throughout the hill to get everything to final grade.
But for the partial closure, all of that is full, no more trash will be added to that? Like, when do you hope to reach max grade for C and D?
It'll be simultaneous with the closure project, so whatever airspace is left, when we acquired the hill, there was some overfilling at the base, a little bit over the permanent grade, so we're gonna take that waste, we're gonna mine it, and we're gonna put that on the mid-slope where we may be not at final grade. And so that's gonna be the balancing act through, and then once we get to the point that we feel like we're at a place where all final grade is achieved, and we're gonna do this with surveyors, they'll be surveying multiple days a week, we will then place 12 inches of soil, put full cap on top of it, then additional soil and seed it
And when is your goal to start that project?
ASAP. As soon as cell construction is completed.
Okay. And when do you think cell completion will be done?
It's that early September timeline.
Love it. Heavy equipment rodeo is where they allow their awesome workers to go to Middle Tennessee and play on heavy equipment. And what's the date on that? September
6th.
September 6th. You've been advertising that it'll be closed on September 6th for several weeks now. I just want to have a vote here just to authorize the closure of the landfill so their hard workers can go have a day of fun. So I'd like a motion to close the landfill on September 6th for the rodeo.
I'll make a motion, we, close the landfill in September.
Motion from Gary,
Gary, a
Second.
second from Steve. The landfill will be closed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You're closed on the 6th.
Tell them to do us proud.
It's an open invite too.
Thank you.
How do the customers get notified?
Well, I was gonna say, will there be signage or something?
There's been
out
signage up for
front?
2 weeks already.
Okay, has to, okay.
Yeah, Holland and I
See it.
talked about it several weeks ago. I said it shouldn't be a problem, so go ahead and put it up. And they've also been calling all of their Saturday customers to let them know as well. So, in your packet is a small little map from Tennessee National. They have some lots that back up to the northeast corner of the landfill, I guess, kind of just the north of it. And, they talked to David Hollenshed a little bit about this, and they want to build a berm on those property lines to kind of insulate Tennessee National from the landfill. So, in that packet, you'll see they want to, I think we need to work with them to get them an easement onto the landfill property to build that berm, and it's going to be anywhere from like 8 to 16 feet tall. So, before they came out here and started surveying and marking off and trying to figure out where it was, I wanted to get a vote from this commission to allow them to start working on where that easement would be, and then come back and approve the final easement that they present to us on a survey. So I just need to, are there any questions about what they're trying to do?
How big will the berm be? How deep? It's gonna be.
It'll be high, it'll be up to like 16 feet high
Yeah,
on the back of some certain properties. You'll see here, but they want to do,
Yeah, but I just was wondering
Here.
how wide does the easement need to be?
well, 50 foot is what I discussed with
Okay.
the gentleman there. So it'd be a 50-foot easement onto the landfill property. And the red is what they want to do now, and the green is where they would like to go in the future possibly. Any questions? Does Republic have thoughts on that?
Yeah. I was just.
I don't think I have the map, but,
Yeah, I'd like to see the map, that'd be great.
no, we'd love to work with them on it. I mean, it
Yeah.
seems like an exciting beautification project,
Yeah,
potentially.
I mean, they're trying to put lots right against the landfill property, so yeah, I think it'd be, want to be good neighbors because, they're our neighbors. So is there a motion? This is not approving the easement, but allowing them to proceed and start the process for us to hopefully review in September.
Will there be, someone will come here and present it to us?
I would like somebody from Tennessee National to come talk to us and show it.
And I have a few questions already, but not
Yeah.
for us. It would be for
Okay.
them. They would.
But we feel good enough for them to invest money in surveying and
Absolutely.
staking and stuff, so.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
Well, we're saying we're gonna work with them. That's pretty much.
yeah, okay, so then I don't think we need a vote then on that one, but just tell them to go ahead and proceed, and we'll hear from them in September, and, you know, who do they need to work with at Republic on this?
I think you're up to myself, Teresa, honestly, between Teresa, Lindsay, and myself, I think that's probably the best approach.
Okay.
And if they have, passes to golf for a day or so, that'd be nice too.
That's between you and them,
Works for
it's a
me.
nice course, it's a long, I was out there Monday, it's a
Is that
very
your question?
long course. So copy all three, Bill, on there?
Please.
That'd be great.
Can we put something in there said, okay, when we agree to do all of this and you do the mapping and the berm and we approve it all, no complaints.
I don't think you're ever gonna get.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Update from our call with attorneys on July 25th. We covered several key elements that would be litigated if a complaint was filed, which includes the mud issue, the idea of being to see what we could agree on, if anything, before spending time and money in court. So, important part of the discussion was surrounded by the fact that there was a reduced expansion by about 19 acres from the 2022 contract. So, that expansion plan for 2022 does not resolve some of the new problems by the reduced expansion, which is part of, which is the scheduled closure. The longer it takes to cap any cells, the more it costs Republic to close, the more it costs the commission for post-closure costs, because the time is pushed out, several years. For example, this is what Elizabeth wrote, the increase in the CPC in 1 year to TDEC was about $7 million as all the materials and related costs continue to rise. So the 2022 closure plan and the amended agreement has to be completely reworked, which Starter's working on, and the information needs to do that comes from Republic. So I know that's, one huge part for me is the closure, and that's, I know we're working on a partial closure for C and D. But the quicker you close, the less water gets in there, the less leachate, the quicker things can be wrapped up in the full cells. They're gonna be working on a proposed capping sequence, updated based on the current acreage expansion. Republic wasn't super specific about what it would look like for the rest of the additional 19 acres that was originally agreed upon. But that's still under discussion, but they indicated they'll still move forward with that additional 19 acres. Republic expressed definite interest in buying the permit and the land, but that's gonna take, it's not gonna happen tomorrow, so it's gonna take some more discussions. So like I said, nothing's gonna be short-term on that one, but it is being discussed further at the next meeting, next 29th of the month, and expect to have some estimate tonnage and volumes and stuff to discuss. We also discussed out-of-pocket expenses for commission regarding legal and engineering consulting costs. So I know that we're working on some detailed information, Elizabeth and I, on the costs that were incurred that will need to be reimbursed by Sandtech. And then what we're supposed to be getting from Sandtech is a term sheet for the proposed sale and resolving of other issues between parties. That'll be shared hopefully on by the week of the 25th, and then a table or other work products to be shared showing the approximate time changes for the capping sequence based on the current acreage, tonnage and volume table, and additional information on location of the borrow access roads, which Stoddard has provided already. So we'll have another meeting next week. So
How are they going to address the mud?
that's all part of our discussions we're gonna continue to have next week. So.
But they didn't have anything definitive or plans, short-term or long-term plans?
Short term, they're doing everything TDEC is asking and everything we've asked to be implemented. So long term, other discussions are being had next week, yes. So. Okay. Let's get to Republic's operations. Do you want to go through your engineering report real quick, Sarah? Because I love your engineering reports that you provide.
touched on many of the items so far. So again, just some of this we've already touched on. Module 1, Module 2, we have completely constructed Module 1. We have the riser in place, ready to discharge to the tank when the tank is back into compliance. At this time, we're still diverting everything to the POTW. Module 2 liner is expected to go down starting Monday of next week with protective cover to follow. That is a little bit new from this pack, and just giving you updates as they come in.
So module 1 is September.
Done. Module 1's
Oh,
construction.
okay.
Module 2 is the one that we're still, so if you go there, you'll notice that Module 1 is kind of the smaller square of the
Yeah.
larger pie.
Kind of over to the west a little bit?
Yep.
Yep, okay.
Yep, and we had to pull all the leachate lines that were temporarily in there from the old tanking to the, tank in a tank kind of system that Samtec had. We diverted all leachate into that. That was based on Lou's approval. So now that all those have been pulled out, we can properly construct the geo buffer and the clay liner before doing liner, which is being done, well, not right now, but this week, with geosynthetics to follow next week.
So when do you think module 2 will be done?
As soon as that slip line is completed, that'll be the last. Yeah, it's that
Bunch of dominoes.
early September. A lot of moving parts, a lot
Yep.
of boxes to check. Leads me to my next one, the slip line and module A gravity line. We have issued POs for this work. We're just waiting on that plug that's going to be the capturing point of the low point module A, so we don't inject grout into the waste column, and also so leachate doesn't go down a path that it's not designated to go down. Timelines are currently running in parallel, but I'm expecting the cell to get completely constructed. Slip line will follow the next week, and then we can finish our leachate collection system in the riser, which is the subsequent week. So that early to mid-September is really the target. The CA1 capping event, that was referred, the 13 acre to 10 acre adjustment. We contracted SES engineers to review the gas situation that's currently going on in that. We don't generate a lot of methane gas, but it's enough to where it could potentially balloon underneath the cap. That's the idea. So we are proposing 8 intermediate depth points. We'll bring a drill rig in that'll actually install these to the depths in the well schedule. I don't have the well schedule right in front of me, but that was provided in those plans. And so that'll be installed with a rock pack around it. It'll allow for gas to passively flow out from underneath the geosynthetic membrane to above it. We don't have a Title V permit that requires us to combust. We do have passive venting capabilities here, but as I mentioned before, we can get solar flares if odors do become an issue.
What will be the diameter for that that's drilled down for that intermediate well?
It'll be an 8-inch well inside of a 12-inch auger. So the auger will drill a 12-inch hole and an 8-inch well will go inside of it.
You put rock around the remaining.
Yeah, so the annular space around the well will be filled with rock to protect it from sedimenting in. It'll also allow for liquids to kind of flow into that point. So if we do, that was kind of the whole purpose that I wanted to drive this originally, was to help also assist with liquid capture.
Okay, thank you.
East Ditch, we have a little small project going on ahead of the closure next week. We're actually going to be running, if you've been out to the landfill recently, you've seen 4 dewatering points with pumps in them. We're actually going to run what we call fingers or slope horizontals off at 45-degree angles. It's going to extend the radius of influence on these points to allow for flow to kind of get captured in one location. We're also working with Loudon Utilities to take 3-phase power from the wheel wash up to the east slope, so we don't have to have generators there anymore. We can just run them with actual permanent power. Teresa's actually doing that work this weekend. She's trenching in. We bought conduit from them, I believe today. But real quick, back to the capping event. I did point out that there's no plans for applied vacuum at this time. There was a tier 2 run in 2024. There's a 34 megagram threshold that is required to install an active gas system. Because we don't really have odors, we're not generating enough methane. The actual capacity, that was the emissions inventory that was conducted at that point, it was less than 9. So we're pretty significantly far off from anywhere that would require any sort of active gas collection. But because the site, we are looking at a full expansion, we want to have infrastructure in place in the event that gas does become a little bit more, we'll just call it robust or potentially odor causing. We are ready to, I have not issued POs for that project yet. We've only received bids. We're essentially just waiting for the blessing of the commission here before we start that project, which again, we're hoping as soon as cell construction completes, we can kind of transition right over. The borrow area work will also be conducted simultaneous to that. Pond 2, that's the one near the wheel wash. We're not discharging, we're still remediating. We actually had another sample come back since this last one from the 814. That was what I sent out to you early this week to Lou. Again, NH3 shown balance, that's ammonia, shown it's balanced back into compliance, but COD has increased slightly above its compliance point. We're just gonna continue to remediate until it's back into compliance. We're not in any rush to, we'd love to let it discharge, but we're in a place now where it's okay. Leachate tanks, as I mentioned before in previous meetings, there's no damage to the tank just simply needs to be re-anchored. We're gonna do some fairly robust R&M to ensure that we have essentially a near new tank when it does come back into compliance. So we're gonna do the full skirts, full anchors, we're gonna seal up any sort of cracks or any areas that have a crud kind of built up on them, or pressure wash it off, put a new meter board up. Everything will be done, it'll be essentially a brand new tank when we're all done. So point 3 on that one, we have quotes, that's already been, we're ready to go. So September 15th is when I was told that work will be completed by. We do have, per our permit, we are required to have at least 30 days worth of capacity on the landfill at any given time. This is a 2018 ruling from TDEC, so you have a lot of legacy sites that have older than 2018 permits, where they don't have to necessarily adhere to this rule because we have a permit expansion. We are required to have at least 30 days capacity. That requires us to have approximately, I think it's 350,000 gallons. We're installing a 250,000 gallon tank in combination with our current 106,000 gallon tank to be in compliance, and we're required to do that within a calendar year. I believe I've sent you the new tank locations that we're putting up on top of the hill behind the maintenance shop as opposed to in that small little cubby. I know when Steve was on site last week, we went up there and checked it out, looked at that area. It's also gonna allow for the road, the perimeter road, we can kind of stretch that out a little bit further to assist with the grading, really just kind of clean up the site a lot is really what we're looking for in that portion. Stormwater basin near cell construction, it was dewatered and mucked. We did verify that the impacted media has been removed. We did place it on liner just to be safe with it. It can dry out, be used as good cover. So that is back into compliance. I believe our contractor is building their stormwater the outfall from the basin this week. Borrow area, POs have been issued for classification. Like I said before, the borrow area will be constructed from a clearing and grubbing and grading standpoint during the capping event, only because those soils will be valuable for the closure. We'd like to use what soils are available on site for the closure as opposed to hauling them in off site. The bids are reflective of that too.
Enjoy your dinner.
Purdy Spring was sampled in June of 2025. We did reach out we have not given the commission and their council enough time to review, so I reached out to Molly Stanford earlier this week and requested a 30-day extension. We're expecting drafts to you guys next week.
Thank you.
And to Mr. Byers' point, Paula Plant did follow up with the dark water complaint. We recirculated a February 2025 sampling that showed it was oxidized magnesium that was causing the dark tinge to the color.
I have added for September for the module C and D partial closure, so we'll vote on that September 18th, so that we can get started on the 19th. Does that work?
That should run perfectly in parallel with what we're expecting.
Then I'll confirm with, talk to the planning office for land and service permit for the borrow area. And then, I'll touch base with Elizabeth and Chris tomorrow to see where we are on their review of that and get that ball rolling too.
So it's where it says land disturbance permits may not be needed, we will.
I would like one, just
okay,
so the county knows what's going on, because that's what the planning office does, and that's their ball of wax, so. Any other questions?
I'll come back to the pond 2 question, just for my own edification. I think when you showed me that the other day, you mentioned just do a single grab sample I mean, I would think even in a pond of that modest dimension, there's, might be some, you know, spatial variability in ammonia concentrations.
Sure.
Do you think the aeration is giving you sufficient physical mixing that a single grab sample is a good representative measure of ammonia, or and is that sampling protocol according to TDEC, or is that just Republic's?
Yeah, we're grabbing raw surface water samples, so we're not running it through any sort of, you know, capturing mechanism. We're given, it's just a completely, just almost real-time, just collection. We let the lab run their analysis. That said, we are getting a more robust pump out there because we do want a little bit more spatial control. We want to be able to apply the aeration over the actual surface of the hill, as opposed to just that one portion that may circulate but may not reach the whole pond.
Yes, I
But a
get my
grab
point.
sample is a standard TDEC protocol.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right. 'Cause I was concerned about if you took several grab samples and you know, did the statistics, would you still show an elevation of ammonia, or is it, you know?
Like a more like composite style where we just, it may be more in our favor. That said, I'd like to have meet with a little bit more resistance and find, you know, a little bit more of a maybe area of an issue and see if that issue has actually been mitigated as opposed to finding a clean sample per se.
Thank you.
There was one, on the, inspection report from this month, talked about leachate observed on site. Will you just touch on that just for a little bit?
Yeah, so at the tie-in of module 1 and that interior slope, there was pooled leachate. It's been an issue at that tie-in until we really connect those slopes together. It's gonna be it kind of percolates through that toe of the slope there until we kind of smooth it out. It won't flow into module 1, so it tends to pool there. We've been backing it out periodically. It was something that was known even in her note. She said it was an acceptable practice during the construction. She knows it's gonna be tied up once cell is complete. It's just right now, it's just an issue we're having to mitigate until we tie those slopes together.
Okay. Any other questions from this board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Did you want to do the minutes or you
Oh, Ms. Ross has been working on the minutes since Mr. Bush has stepped down. So earlier today, she emailed everybody copies of the June and July minutes.
want? Yes.
So I'll let her discuss them a little bit, then we'll vote to approve.
Yeah, and on the June 19th, there was a nice, I was doing this really quickly this morning, so. I like the header on the June 19th one. I will make the July 17th header the same. And just so that for consistency, and I did not include, for other attendees on the July 17th, I did not include Justin Handy, even though his name's mentioned later. I will
Okay.
add him to the attendees.
So is that a motion to approve with those changes?
I so move.
That's a motion from Doc. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, a second by Gary Hendricks. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, minutes from July and June have been approved. Now what about a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Any opposed?
Andy speaks.
Andy speaks, we're gone. Okay. Motion to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
4-7, are you sure?
Buddy, I tried my hardest. I was looking at minutes from old ones. They used to last till like 9 o'clock.
We made up for it last
Last month was a long.
I think last month was 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.